Councillors, we move on to General Manager's reports, and I put agenda item GMR 21/029 Coopers Island Road, BODALLA. Can I have a mover and seconder, please?
Yeah, I move the second option, that council does not close or sell Coopers Island Road.
Thank you, Councillor. It is a changed resolution, so I will read that out. And it reads as follows: that Council 1 does not close or sell Coopers Island Road to the property owner of Lot 2 DP 12290 as noted in the confidential attachment. 2, allocates up to $40,000 from the 2021 budget to realign the road back onto the road reserve and other associated works to improve safety and the operational management of the property to ensure minimising conflict between livestock and road users. 3, write to the owners of Lot 2 DP 12290 requesting that the fence near the causeway across the road reserve be removed within 28 days from the date of the letter or after such time has elapsed. Council remove such and relocate the fence and any infrastructure to the correct alignment. 4, notes that the electric fence on the boundary of Coopers Island Road has been removed and a public gate can now be reconsidered. And 5, thank all submitters for their input. Councillors, I need a seconder.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, I'm happy to second. Is it the time now to seek clarification, though? When it says in point 4 to be reconsidered,
no, Councillor, if you second it, then you can ask for clarification and you can
second.
Debate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councillors, are there any questions or debate? Councillor Mayne.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Just want to clarify then in point 4, because notes that the electric fence on the boundary of Coopers Island Road has been removed. So that's obviously, well, that'll be news to a number of people in the community, I would imagine. And a public gate can now be reconsidered. Could I just seek clarification? Why would that now be considered, and what's the relationship to the removal of that fencing? Thanks, Acting Director.
Through the Mayor, so as the Council report clearly articulates, Councillor, while the road is fenced, then a public council cannot consider an application for a public gate. Now that the road is unfenced in that vicinity, then council can consider an application which has been received by council for a public gate.
Councillor McGinley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to the respective officer who might be able to answer this. This morning we heard from a lot of speakers, but one of them in particular mentioned the fact that should we be considering approving the gate, that the community would also need to be consulted in that regard. Can that just be verified or explained more clearly what form of consultation that would take?
Through the Mayor, public gates are considered by council staff under delegation. You've never, I'm assuming, seen an application for a public gate come to council in your term. So that would be under delegation, and there would not be public consultation because it's basically a gate, which is a fairly minor issue in terms of protecting vehicles and people and stock.
Okay, so just to clarify, the speaker this morning was incorrect in her assumption that there would be some consultation.
Through the Mayor, that's correct. Mr Greenway may wish to comment.
Through you, Madam Mayor, section 128.3 of the Roads Act says, excuse me, this is Roads Authority may grant a permit. Roads Authority must cause notice of the granting of the permit to be published in the local newspaper. That's the only reference to public notification.
Thank you, Councillors. Councillor McGinley.
Yeah, thank you. I have a supplementary question. Given that we were only made aware of this change of circumstances this morning, certainly that's the first I heard of it, and given that there'll be no consultation around the approval of the gate or otherwise, I'm just wondering, could we add into point 4 that reconsideration be expedited and give it a time frame so this doesn't drag on for any more than it has to?
Through the Mayor, I think it can be undertaken within 14 days, Mr Ginger. I give that commitment that it will be delegated and a decision made within that time.
Thank you.
It's up to the mover and it's up to the mover and seconder as to whether they'd accept that.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, and the seconder?
Could I just seek clarification, Madam Mayor? I'm in mind to accept it, but just a quick clarification on behalf of the community then. These 3 delegated authority, the council will then consider and work on this over the next 14 days. So the potential is that within a short period of time, the gate may then be there and that becomes the gate, or it may be removed. So I'm just seeking that clarification because this is new after this morning. This is new. We haven't been briefed previously, just so people understand. This is just new. Because I just want to understand, does the community then get any chance to have input, or once we decide on this motion, is that now done and the community doesn't engage in this anymore? That's a fair question, I think? Thanks.
Through the Mayor, just to confirm that is correct, because as I've said previously, a gate application will be delegated, and I think there is a desire by the council, having added 14 days, this be done promptly, and certainly it can be done within 14 days. So council staff under delegation will determine whether the gate stays or doesn't stay.
Councillors, are there any further questions or debate? So I'm assuming, Councillor Mayne, you're agreeing to the change in the notice of motion?
All right, so I'm going to put my thicky ploppy hat on this morning. I don't know if the community whom we represent understands, because I just wouldn't mind going back into the clarification. What's happened this morning is we've been advised that a part of the fencing along the road has now been removed, and as a result of that, now a gate can be considered. That's the change that's just occurred. Right, so if that fence hadn't been removed, the gate couldn't be considered. So the owners have taken a path, I'm seeking clarification, the owners have taken a path to remove that part of the fence, which then brings on the ability then for this council to now vote through this motion to delegate through council that a gate is possibly the likely outcome here. I just want everyone in the room to understand the likely outcome of this motion then is you will now see a gate on Coopers Island Road moving forward. That's a...
Councillor
No, it may
Mayne.
not, but the community has to understand,
Councillor Mayne.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Just so you understand, the approval or not of a gate has always been under delegated authority. Okay? So you're clear on that? Okay. So, getting back to the motion that is in front of us.
Through you, Madam Mayor.
Just a minute, because I just need to we've had a request to put a amendment to point 4 to put in a 14-day consideration. It has been accepted by the mover. Councillor Mayne as the seconder, do you accept it or not? And then we can debate it or question it. Yes? Okay. Councillor Constable.
Through you, Madam Mayor, and all the delegations that the council staff operate under do come from the chamber, from council themselves. In order to expedite this, and given the compliance, is it possible to get a report to this meeting just indicating an outcome and getting council to vote on that, on the provision of a gate at this time?
Through the Mayor, Councillor, potentially Council could add a part of the resolution that would either approve or not approve the gate. However, I would advise that as staff we will reconsider the application, not on the spot like you might be doing now. So I think there's some benefit in us, in Council staff, reviewing the application and looking at all the implications in a considered way, and perhaps not making what could be considered an on-the-spot decision.
Thank you. If we don't have all the relevant information to make that decision at this time, I defer to your advice. Thank you.
Councillors, any further questions or debate? Councillor McGinley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, through you. Since the possibility of that there is now a possibility that the gate will remain, can I just again seek some clarification? Within option 2 in paragraph 2, it says allocate 40 grand from the budget to realign the road back onto the road reserve and other associated works. Within that phrase, other associated works, should the gate be decided to remain, would those associated works include a sign on the non-property side advising the public that the road, despite the gate, is in fact a public road and that they have access to it?
Through Madam Mayor, if the gate remains and a permit is granted, it's the property owner's responsibility to put the right signage on it, saying public road. That's part of the condition of a license. Yes.
Can I just add, my understanding is that without being specific, where it says associated works, that would include any relevant signage that is Council's responsibility.
Sorry, I'm just getting two bits of conflicting information here. Sorry, Rob is saying that would include, that's Council's responsibilities, but our director here, acting director, has said it would be the responsibility of the owners. So can we just clarify, is it a Council responsibility or is it an owner's responsibility?
Through Madam Mayor, the license to erect a gate puts the responsibility on the landowner to erect the gate and put the appropriate signage on it.
But I think where there is the confusion, Councillor, is that is with the gate, whether it is approved under or not approved. If approved, the responsibility will be on the landowner to put the appropriate signage about it being a public road on the gate. However, with the other signage that I understand that will take place on the causeway in that area that people will potentially be parking, that will be Council's responsibility. Does that clarify and make it clearer?
Yes, I guess to be really specific, I just want to be assured that there will be some kind of signage, responsibly whomever, to ensure that members of the public, when they pull up to that road,
Will understand.
will realise it's a public road.
Yes, Councillor. Mr Greenway is just indicating he has something he would like to add.
Through you, Madam Mayor. I'll just, Councillor, read out Section 129, Section 2 of the Roads Act. The holder of a public gate permit must ensure that a notice is attached to both sides of the gate bearing the words public gate in letters at least 75mm high.
Is that the clarity and reassurance that you were seeking, Councillor McGinley?
It does indeed. Thank you.
Councillor Main.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Just another clarifier through you. So the first principle for a lot of people this morning has been to maintain a public road, and that's what this motion seeks to do, or this change. The second piece is the gate becomes the issue then. So What I'm not aware of or not sure of in my own mind at this point is if council then votes this up and through delegated a gate goes on, should the owners subsequently seek to appeal through whatever avenues they may then have open to them, by erecting a gate, has council facilitated potentially or compromised the position moving forward that might consolidate the buyer's position in future negotiations? Thank you.
Through the Mayor, the answer is no.
Councillor, and it could also be, if you're going to look at that, I do not think so in any way, shape or form, but that's by the by. But it can also be considered that by giving permission for the gate to stay, that we're also addressing a public safety that we do now have to consider.
Just for the clarify, what we've just been told though is, as a council, I would not then expect to find ourselves in a court 3 months down the track, because I've just been categorically told no. I'm going to vote therefore on that basis. There are no grounds there for potentially that this comes back, that this position we now take is going to compromise. That was definitive.
Through the Mayor, my understanding of your question was in relation to the gate alone. Is that not correct?
That's right. My point is we vote on, the gate goes up, so council through delegated sanctions therefore a gate going on. Now, should the owner down the track of the property surrounding the public road decide to appeal, are they now in a stronger position because a council was formally elected to put a gate on that road?
Councillor, you would need to argue the nexus, through the Mayor, the nexus between a gate and appealing the closure or not of a public road. I fail to see what the nexus would be.
I appreciate that, and that's why I'm not a lawyer. I dare say a lawyer might be able to find a nexus, but I was just wondering, does it compromise future negotiations? That's all it is. I'm not a lawyer. I don't profess to be an expert in this area. I'm seeking your guidance on it. Thank you.
Well, through the Mayor, picking up your point, Councillor, staff may get some advice about that prior to our determination of the gate.
Councillors, are there any further questions or debate? Well, Councillor, are you going to close the debate?
That's my intention.
Well, I will, before you do, take the opportunity. It's going to come as no surprise to my fellow councillors that I'm going to be voting against this notice of motion. And, you know, look, I understand the rationale and the reason behind the community wanting to keep this public road open to the public. However, I do not feel that by taking this avenue that we are going to be resolving the conflict that is still going to exist in that area. I have seen some reprehensible behaviour from those who are advocating to keep this public road open, and I do have sympathy towards members, towards landowners that are in an isolated area that may be dealing with people such as was witnessed this morning in this chamber in an isolated area. I feel for those people. I live in a similar situation and I have had to deal with similar issues. These are my views and I am entitled to hold them, and I am elected to represent views that at some stage may not be the popular view and may not be the majority view. Nonetheless, I am still going to voice those views whilst I am still in this chamber. I also see that we are going to be allocating $40,000 to try and rectify and solve a problem, which I think is going to continue to exist. Councillors, I'm going to ask Councillor Pollock to close the debate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Hasn't been an easy situation. You've got, unfortunately, people taking entrenched views where a little bit of softness from the opposing sides could have perhaps avoided a straight-out clash. It has existed in harmony with the community for a very long period of time. It is, as he explained, the category of the waterway, etc. Certainly the owners of the property are entitled to be able to farm and maintain the safety and well-being of any livestock on the property. I believe there are alternatives available to effectively and efficiently farm without closing the road. But I think it's also going to take a bit of conciliation from people that have traditionally used the area, whether it be for fishing, prawning or whatever. I think Joe Starling's presentation indicated the extension of a bit of goodwill from both sides and a bit of understanding could go a long way to avoiding what has been unpleasant at this point in time. So I don't wish to go over all of the issues which have been raised. I think it is and should remain a public road. Certainly, I believe the gate should be approved. I'm not preempting any decision, but I think it should be for the safety. Anybody knows that livestock on a major highway is an incredibly dangerous situation. We would want to avoid that at all costs. And so the operators and owners of the property are entitled to secure that aspect. So the rest of it, can I just say to people, if you're going to fish along that area, if you're going to utilise parts of the causeway or whatever, have a bit of consideration at the same time. And let's hope that we don't have to pursue discussions of this nature in the future.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll put the matter to the vote. Those in favour? Those in favour are Councillor Mayne, Councillor Thompson, Councillor Tate, Councillor Constable, Councillor McGinley and Councillor Pollock. Those against are myself, Councillor Innes. Thank you, Councillor. The motion has been carried. Councillors, I now put agenda